Hi folks, Tom with Friskified Fitness. And if you've been around the fitness space for any length of time, particularly over the last few years, odds are you've come across a lot of information about the concept of a mini cut. And you may be wondering, what is a mini cut? How do you do it? What are the pros and cons? And would it be appropriate for me? Well, we'll get into all of that. In fact, let's get at it now. First, what is a mini cut? A mini cut, you may have guessed, is a short period of time when you're cutting, as opposed to a traditional cut of 3 or 4 months. This is compressed into 2 to 6 weeks of intense dietary restrictions. Your caloric intake is cut way down, your protein goes up, and your fat and carbs are almost non-existent. That is a mini cut. So why do a mini cut? Well, a mini cut will not get you stage lean, but it will trim off quite a bit of fat in a very short period of time. And in order to do that, as I mentioned, you have a lower caloric intake and a lot of protein, and the only carbs you get are incidental from the vegetables that you get, and the only fat that you consume is from the protein sources you ingest. So why would you do this to yourself? Well, frankly, it reduces how much it sucks. Oh, it sucks. It sucks a lot, but it compresses the time frame for the sucking. And how hard does it suck? Ask Joe. Joe who? Joe Mama. This is not designed to get you stage lean. This is designed to cut some fat from your body, some fluff, so that you can be at a lower body weight and a lower body fat percentage. So why would you do this to yourself? Well, let's say you have a wedding, a vacation, a reunion. Maybe you want to look good for the beach or the pool. These are great reasons to do a mini cut when you don't have a lot of time left before the event. Also, you can do a mini cut periodically throughout the year, particularly when you're bulking or in your gaining phase. Let's say, for instance, you gained 15 pounds over the course of 3 months during your bulk. Well, you may not want to carry all 15 pounds around because guaranteed they're not all muscle. Not all fat, but certainly not all muscle. So you could do a 2-week mini cut using a protein-sparing modified fast, which we're talking about today, and you could trim off perhaps 10 pounds in 2 weeks so that your net gain is only 5 pounds. And then you can continue your bulking from there. So how do you do a mini cut? Determine what program you want to follow. Now, I followed the protein-sparing modified fast for 2 weeks in May in preparation for a Comic-Con my adult daughter wanted to go to, and I wanted to look all right. So I did 2 weeks and I lost 10 pounds. Now, the method I used was the protein-sparing modified fast. That seems to be the most efficient way to lose a lot of fat without losing any muscle. And that's the key point, without losing any muscle. And that's why the protein is jacked way up. I was eating in excess of 200 grams of protein per day. I started at a body weight of 175, and I dropped my caloric intake down to about 1100. At 175, my walking around weight at that time before the mini cut, my maintenance calories I determined through trial and error was around 2100. Now I chopped 1,000 calories off from that for every day. So over the course of 2 weeks, that was 14,000 calories a 14,000 calorie deficit. Now, you may be wondering, well, did you lose any muscle? No, I did not. And I know I didn't because my strength in the gym stayed the same. A few lifts, I went a couple reps higher. Your strength is a good indicator about your muscle. I didn't do a body fat test before and after like all the cool kids on YouTube. I wanted to go by how much strength would I lose, and I didn't lose any. Now, as I mentioned, I had a 14,000 calorie deficit over the course of a fortnight. And also, as I mentioned, I didn't lose any muscle because I didn't lose any strength. So how much was fat and how much was water and glucose? Well, I did math, and 14,000 calories, that's how much were chopped. The agreed upon standard for a pound of fat is 3,500 calories. 3,500 goes into 14,000 4 times. So I lost essentially 4 pounds of fat, and the rest, the other 6 pounds, were water and glucose. Probably the first thing you need to do is to determine what your end point is. How long do you want to do this? Now, with a protein-sparing modified fast, it's typically not recommended that you do it for more than 6 weeks unless you're under medical supervision. And at this point, I want to give a legal disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I do not dispense medical advice. I do not play a doctor on TV. Please consult with your physician before undertaking a mini cut or a protein-sparing modified fast. E pluribus unum, do not take any wooden nickels, and do not look for Mr. Goodbar. Two of the most important things that you need to do during a mini cut is keep the protein very high, between 1.25 and 1.5 grams of protein per pound of actual body weight. I've seen some people do up to 2 grams per pound of body weight. That's not me. I went on the lower end of the scale. You need to go balls to the wall in your workouts too. You need to give your body a reason to hold on to the muscle and a way to do it. The reason is by working out really hard and not easing off. The way you do it is with the protein. So you have both the reason and the way. To make your mini cut truly successful, you want to increase your step count a little. Now, normally I've done 10,000 steps without even trying, mainly because I have a walking pad at my desk at work and a standing desk. If you don't have a walking pad or a standing desk, increase the number of steps you actually get. During my mini cut, I increased it to just 12,000. You don't have to go nuts, and you won't want to either, because you'll notice that you're a little bit more tired because you don't have the energy. You'll also notice that you'll be moving slower and less, because when you're at a severe caloric deficit like this, your body is going to stop fidgeting. It's going to stop moving. You're going to be moving slower because your body is trying to conserve energy. You have to fight against that. And I encourage you to try to get a couple thousand steps more than what you're currently doing. Here are a few hacks to control your hunger, because after all, you're going to be at a severe caloric deficit during a mini cut. When you get hungry, do a few stomach vacuums. I know it sounds weird. If you don't know what stomach vacuums are, in the description I'll leave a link to a video I did about stomach vacuums. Also, carbonated beverages are a great way to go. Water is fantastic because it'll make you feel full. Carbonated diet beverages, 0-calorie beverages, Diet Coke, things like that, are really good because the carbonation will make your stomach feel like you're full. Of course, you want to do the high volume, low calorie food. I can't tell you how much spinach I've had during my mini cut. I love spinach and I love broccoli. Both are high volume, low calorie. Also, egg whites are your friend because it's really high in volume when you cook them up and really low in calories. After all, it's essentially pure protein. And here's a weird tip to control your hunger. Brush your teeth. That sounds weird, I know, but your mind will think, oh, I have freshly clean teeth. That means I'm done eating. Sounds weird, and it is, and you're playing head games with yourself, but you're going to come out on top. Have you done a protein sparing modified fast? How long did you do it for, and what were your results? What about a different type of mini cut? Love to hear about it in the comments below, and I'm sure other people would like to hear your advice. Well, that's about it for today. My name's Tom. This is Friskified Fitness. We'll see you next time.